American public opinion toward Israel is a remarkable phenomenon, unusual in almost any respect. I have studied the evolution of American attitudes toward Israel in the last 35 years. My first book deals with the evolution of opinion in America towards Israel from 1945 to 1985. I'm now working on a new book about the same subject from 1985 to 2015. And this afternoon, I'll talk primarily about the period from 2000 to 2015. I have two pieces of news, one bad, one good. The good news is that American support, public support for Israel, is stable and very strong. And even the frequent confrontations between Obama and Netanyahu have not damaged the basic favorable trends. The bad news is, based on socio-demographic analyses, that the strong support Israel enjoys now may not continue in the near future. And if Israel is not going to do anything about it, we will lose the high levels of support we are enjoying now. So what I intend to do in the time that I have is to show you a lot of statistics, a lot of figures and information which will reveal to you both the good news and the bad news. So I think one of the issues I want to begin is that gap that we have seen in recent years between the attitudes of Congress and that of the White House, especially especially under Obama. Huge gap. Congress, both Democrats and Republicans, and I fully agree with the presentation made earlier by Jonathan. There is a gap between Democrats and Republicans about Israel, but there's a huge gap between Republicans and Democrats about everything in the United States. And Obama, among other things, not only has been able to reduce the gap, his policies, he took the Democratic Party too much to the left, he even has increased that gap. So Congress reflects American public opinion. And as long as American public opinion is going to be strongly for Israel, Congress will be strongly for Israel. The White House is a different story. If we compare the levels of support for Israel in the United States to that in Europe, in other countries, again, we see a huge gap. There's much less support for Israel and much more support for the Palestinians in Europe than in the United States. Many people talk about American public opinion based on impressions, and obviously we need to look at harder data to determine the real attitudes. We need some socio-demographic analysis, and as I said earlier, we'll talk about the future. My work is based on analyses of public opinion polls. I have a collection of all of them since 1945. All public opinion polls. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are biased, some of them are more objective. I'm always looking at long-term trends and not at reports of a particular poll at a particular time. I'm looking primarily at polls conducted by serious organizations such as Gallup, Pew, and those sponsored by the media. I'm looking at two kinds of issues. One is between the United States and Israel, bilateral, and the other one is Israel and the Middle East, and the region, more specifically about Israel and the Palestinians. I've been trying to decode sources of support for Israel in public opinion, those groups which are the most supportive versus those which are the least supportive of Israel. And I have a case study the Gaza war of 2014. I don't know if I will have time for that. So, and the socio-demographic variables which we have been looking at include gender, religion, party, ideology, race, education, and age. And there are some similarities and some differences in approaches. So first, bilateral. So this is the rating of how Americans see Israel in general. And you can see this is from 2004, 10 years. Long-term trends, pretty stable for public opinion. As you can see here, this is very stable. The last figure is for 2014. 72% favor Israel, 22% don't like us very much. Very stable. This is where we are among several countries. So you can see Canada is number 1, Great Britain is number 2, Germany is number 3, Japan, France, India, and Israel. Israel is here. So we are in the first 10 most liked states in American public opinion. In previous years, we were even in a better position. This is for 2014. This is a comparison between, this is on the favorability index. So here you can see, this gives you also figures for 2015. So this is Israel. Incidentally, you see, this is 79, the highest was recorded during the first Gulf War. Saddam Hussein sent missiles to Israel. Israel did not respond. Oh, everybody was clapping their hands. Oh, Israel is good. So here we have 79%. So today we are 72, 70%. This is the Palestinian rating. So today it's about 70 to 17 in favor of Israel. This is an interesting question about the reliability of Israel as an ally of the United States, 2011, 2013. You can see, interestingly enough, despite Obama, the numbers went up. 76% think that Israel is a strong U.S. ally. This is Netanyahu. We'll skip this. This graph was shown earlier by Jonathan. And again, you can see here, this is sympathy in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the distribution of sympathies. So this is Israel, the green. This is those in between. And here are those who sympathize more with the Palestinians. This graph down here, again, you can see Gulf War, 1991, 1992, the Gulf War, 64. But you see again, in 1913 and 2014, we are not far from there. You can see, this is almost the highest number that Israel has ever registered on this particular index, which means 2/3 of the American public support Israel. The least support, which I have found, was registered immediately after the Sabra and Shatila massacre back in the first war in Lebanon. About 1/3 of the Americans still support Israel, so the support is always between 1/3 and 2/3, most of the time at the 2/3 level. And this is a comparison to Europe. You can see, if you look at Europe, it's exactly the opposite ratio, and we have talked about it. This is by party. Jonathan talked about it. Incidentally, this to continue what have been said earlier, from 2008 to 2014, I wondered about Jewish identification with the two big parties in the United States. And you can find that 2008, at the beginning of the Obama administration, 71% of the Jews identified themselves as Democrats and only 22nd as Republicans. So Obama lost 10%. So now it's 60% versus 29%. Still, most of the Jews are Democrats, but look at this interesting trend. This is the distribution of sympathies by age. And we here begin to talk about socio-demographic factors. And so it's not enough to look at the distribution at the general level. If this is the case, we could be quite satisfied with the major trends in American public opinion toward Israel. Here where you can see that the highest numbers are with the 55 and older. And the more we get down on age, the less support we have. The 74-52 gap between the old and the young. Conclusion, the younger generations are less sympathetic to Israel. This is by church attendance. We found in another research that the more religious you are, the more you support Israel. And here you can see, and we judge, it may not be a good, reliable measure, but we judge religion by church attendance. The more you attend you more attend church, the more you are considered to be religious. Here you can see again that those who go frequently, more support. Those who don't go enough have much less support, and the gap is from 68 to 53. Here even we have distribution in sympathies by religious denominations. So Jewish is very high, obviously. Mormon, like us most, 79%, Protestant 66%, Catholics 59%, other 54%. So again, some differences in religion. So this is by church attendance. Party and church attendance, this is even more interesting because this is the Republicans, this is the Democrats. Those Democrats who attend church support Israel, 55%. Those who never go to church, Democrats, only 42%. You can see this is religious, this is not religious, there is a difference. By ideology, I think we did it. Oh, this is interesting. This is the gap between men and women. So men support Israel more than women, but this is 69% and this is 60%. Still, 60% is a very nice majority. Education, this is also interesting, and we found that in other studies as well. Those who support Israel on the same index, see 68% college graduate. When you are postgraduate, in other words, the more you are educated, you less support Israel. So high school 65, some college 64, college 68, but postgraduate only 61. This is the lowest. So I'm told I have 2 minutes to. 2 minutes. I have 5 minutes to 5. Your watch is not good. Okay. So I have similar. This is another question. The U.S. should put more pressure to make compromise on Israel or the Palestinians. Here you find differences. We have heard that. By ideology is the same thing. By age, also very similar. Those who are the youngest on this issue also show less support for Israel. Those who are oldest support more. I think I should I have a lot of information here. I'm going to publish it soon, so you will have an opportunity. Oh, this is interesting, so I'm coming to the end. We will soon publish work with BESA, so we will see all of this information. Here, this is quite interesting. I did a study about public opinion approval of Obama's foreign policy in general and his policies toward Israel in particular. The American public completely rejected time and again Obama's policy on Israel and the Palestinians. These are just examples from 2014 to 2015. Israel, 50-38. Rejection, disapproval. Israel-Palestinian relations, 62-30. Rejection. American public opinion has disagreed with Obama on his policies on Israel and Israeli-Palestinian relations. So the conclusions. The long term reveals strong and stable support. And then Obama-Netanyahu rifts had no influence. There's a gap between Obama's policy, critical policy, hostile policy towards Israel, and public opinion. Future trends, however, may be less supportive. If you look now at the socio-demographic profile of those who support Israel, following: white, older, men, Republican, conservative, college-educated, party and religion, the Republicans and the more religious, and which means that Israel has to take all of this into consideration. In other words, there is a need to maintain the high levels among existing supportive groups, but at the same time, Israel must address the other groups in the American society which are less supportive. For example, white versus non-white. The Hispanics are going to be a major force in American politics if Israel does not engage the Hispanics and show them why Israel is important in the United States. The overall numbers will go down. We also have to work on women, Democrats, liberals, on those who do not have a college degree, and those who are less religious. There are all kinds of ways to deal with these issues. It's only, the question is only awareness, understanding, and taking action. Thank you.